The morning of November 24, 2025, broke with a metallic shriek, a sound that echoed across the restless waters, signaling that this would be no ordinary day. Off the coast of Palawan, a Philippine supply vessel pressed forward, its destination the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting beached outpost that stands as a symbol of defiance in the heart of disputed waters. The crew moved with tense precision, their faces etched with anxiety and determination. Today, their mission was anything but routine. Every movement carried the weight of uncertainty. Out of the morning haze, Chinese Coast Guard ships loomed into view. Larger, faster, and more aggressive than ever before, their presence a stark warning. Ship horns blared, slicing through the tension, while radios crackled with frantic commands in both Mandarin and Filipino, voices urgent and strained. At the helm, the Filipino captain, a seasoned veteran of these waters, held his course with unwavering resolve, fully aware of both his nation's rights and the grave risks ahead. The Chinese ships maneuvered with calculated precision, forming a blockade. Their bows sliced dangerously close, leaving barely any room for error. Without warning, a high-pressure water cannon erupted from the lead Chinese ship, smashing windows and sending the Filipino crew scrambling for cover as water and glass rained down. It was a violent, unprovoked act of intimidation, a clear and chilling message: turn back or face even greater danger. In that moment, the confrontation transcended a simple maritime dispute. It became a direct and personal challenge to Philippine sovereignty and dignity. Around the world, viral footage of the incident spread rapidly, showing the raw, unfiltered reality of the standoff and igniting outrage and concern. For the Philippines, this was about more than territory. It was about their right to exist, to defend their people, and to chart their own future on their own terms. For China, the confrontation was about projecting power, enforcing sweeping claims, and demonstrating dominance in the region. This single, violent encounter encapsulated years of rising tension, a culmination of countless standoffs and unresolved disputes. The crisis had reached a boiling point, with both sides locked in a dangerous game of brinkmanship. The stakes had never been higher, as the world watched anxiously, aware that any miscalculation could spark a wider conflict. Across the region, navies were placed on high alert, governments braced for escalation, and uncertainty hung thick in the air. The world's eyes were fixed on the West Philippine Sea, waiting to see what would unfold next in this high-stakes maritime drama. The West Philippine Sea is a critical artery for global trade, serving as a lifeline that connects the economies of Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Each year, over a third of the world's shipping, trillions of dollars worth of goods, passes through these waters, making it one of the busiest and most vital maritime corridors on the planet. Any disruption here, whether from conflict or political tension, sends immediate shockwaves through the global economy, affecting everything from fuel prices to the availability of everyday products. That's why nations from Japan to the Americas, and even those far beyond the region, have a vested interest in keeping these waters open, safe, and free from coercion. In response to rising tensions, the U.S. has increased its naval presence, conducting regular patrols and freedom of navigation operations to challenge what it sees as excessive maritime claims. The presence of American warships, often operating close to Chinese vessels, adds a new layer of complexity, turning what was once a regional dispute into a potential great power standoff with global implications. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, provides a legal framework for resolving maritime disputes, setting out the rights and responsibilities of nations in these contested waters. In 2016, an arbitral tribunal in The Hague ruled overwhelmingly in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's sweeping 9-line claim and affirming the rights of smaller nations under international law. However, China dismissed the ruling as a piece of waste paper, continuing its aggressive patrols, building artificial islands, and expanding its military footprint in the region. The world now faces a profound dilemma: how to enforce international law and maintain order when a major power openly refuses to comply, challenging the very foundations of the rules-based global system. The answer to this challenge could define the future of global maritime security, shaping how nations cooperate, or clash, on the world's oceans for decades to come. The region remains tense, with diplomacy and deterrence locked in a delicate and precarious balance, as every move is watched by the world. As uncertainty lingers, the world holds its breath, waiting to see what happens next in these troubled waters. For Filipino fishermen, the West Philippine Sea dispute is not just a distant political issue. It's deeply personal, affecting their daily lives and the future of their families. Their traditional fishing grounds, once abundant and peaceful, are now zones of fear, patrolled by Chinese maritime militia vessels that loom over their small boats. These so-called fishing boats don't just compete for fish. They block access, ram Filipino vessels, and cut nets, making it nearly impossible to work safely or earn a living. Livelihoods are lost, equipment is damaged beyond repair, and families are pushed deeper into poverty, struggling to put food on the table. Fishermen speak of constant anxiety and fear, treated as intruders in waters their ancestors have fished for generations, never knowing if they'll return home safely. The Philippine Coast Guard tries to protect them, offering what support they can, but they are often outmatched by the sheer number and size of foreign vessels. Patrols are a symbol of national resolve and hope, but the vastness of the sea means they cannot be everywhere at once, leaving many fishermen vulnerable. The psychological toll is immense. Entire communities watch their way of life vanish, as children and elders alike worry about what tomorrow will bring. Coast Guard sailors share the same risks, facing water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, and the constant threat of escalation at sea. For both fishermen and sailors, this is a fight for survival, dignity, and the right to live in peace in their own waters. The conflict is not abstract. It's the reason a father can't feed his children, and why families wait anxiously for loved ones to return from the sea. With every confrontation, the human cost grows, leaving scars on both the people and the communities that depend on the sea for their survival. After the 2016 ruling, China doubled down. It built artificial islands, transforming reefs into military outposts. Satellite images show runways, harbors, and missile systems, turning marine ecosystems into fortified bases. These unsinkable aircraft carriers extend China's reach and control. Beijing claims these are defensive, but the scale and military nature tell another story. China's neighbors are anxious. Diplomatic protests seem powerless against concrete and steel. Each new structure is a symbol of defiance and ambition. The regional order is being reshaped. The world watches as China asserts dominance in one of the world's most vital waterways. Beneath the West Philippine Sea lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas. The Reed Bank could hold billions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of gas, a potential game changer for the Philippines. Energy independence would mean jobs, prosperity, and a brighter future. But China's claims and aggressive actions have kept these resources out of reach. Companies fear harassment. Investors stay away. The new energy pact with the U.S. is a bold move, backed by American firms and security guarantees. Manila signals it will no longer be deterred from developing its own resources. The pact aims to unlock the nation's energy wealth at last. For the Philippines, this is about more than oil. It's about national destiny. The dream of an energy-rich future is within reach if the nation can seize it. The Malampaya gas field has powered the Philippines for decades, supplying up to 20% of the nation's electricity. But Malampaya is running dry, its reserves nearly depleted. The looming energy shortfall threatens blackouts, economic pain, and higher costs for millions. The government is racing to fill the gap, forced to import more fuel and expose the country to volatile global prices. Every price spike hits families and businesses hard, fueling inflation and uncertainty. Developing the West Philippine Sea's reserves is now a national security imperative. The energy crisis has transformed the territorial dispute into a fight for survival. Finding a new Malampaya is the only long-term solution. The clock is ticking. The nation's future depends on what happens next. The Philippine government has launched a bold new energy strategy. The centerpiece: aggressive exploration in the West Philippine Sea, backed by U.S. partnerships. Manila is streamlining regulations, investing in infrastructure, and pushing for renewables like solar and wind. The goal: energy security for all Filipinos, reliable power, stable prices, and economic growth. Public campaigns link energy policy to daily life, building support for the national project. The hope is to break free from energy insecurity and dependence. It's a high-stakes gambit, but essential for the nation's survival. The future is being written now. Relying on imported fuel leaves the Philippines vulnerable to global shocks. Every crisis abroad means higher prices at home, at the pump, in markets, and on utility bills. Inflation rises, hitting the poorest families hardest. Businesses struggle with soaring costs. Growth slows. This economic drag is why the U.S.-Philippines alliance matters more than ever. The Mutual Defense Treaty provides a security umbrella for energy exploration. The partnership is a counterbalance to China's pressure. It's not just about defense, it's about securing the nation's economic future. The stakes are as high as ever. The Philippines walks a diplomatic tightrope between China and the United States. China is its largest trading partner. The U.S. is its only treaty ally. Leaning too far either way risks economic or security fallout. The U.S.-Philippines alliance has deepened, with expanded military cooperation and joint exercises. Regional allies like Japan and Australia have strengthened ties, seeing Philippine stability as vital. Some Southeast Asian nations remain cautious, wary of angering Beijing. The greatest risk: military escalation from a single miscalculation. A conflict here would be catastrophic for the world. Manila keeps diplomatic channels open, hoping for peaceful coexistence with China while defending its rights. The future depends on balancing deterrence and diplomacy. The stakes are global. The world watches, hoping for peace in troubled waters.